Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 5:30 in the morning on a Monday morning. Today we're going to be drawing a Dilophosaurus. Dilophosaurus are one of the true Jurassic dinosaurs in the movie Jurassic Park. Some differences between it and the movie version. We'll talk about those here today. Today we're going to draw one while we talk about it. Let's just spritz these watercolors real quick, make sure they're nice and juicy, because I like them moist and juicy, so they will be easy to use later on. I can just tap, tap, tap into them instead of having to scrub them. Dilophosaurs are in the movie Jurassic Park, most of the dinosaurs you see are not Jurassic era dinosaurs. Most of the dinosaurs you see are Cretaceous. And that means that most of them are not 100 million years ago, like this little guy's like 193 million years ago. Most of the dinosaurs in the movie are 65 million years ago. But they still call the movie Jurassic Park. Doo-doo. Trying to do a little blocking. I'm probably getting too much detail here at first. I don't usually want to get this much detail at first. But there's some anchor points in this detail that make the block that are important to the blocking. If I don't get the anchor points right, the body won't be in the right place. The head won't be in the right place. The tail won't be in the right place. But the most important thing is the composition, trying to make sure that I get the whole thing on the page. So back to our Dilophosaur discussion. 193 million years ago, these things lived. That means there's no DNA. There's no anything we can do. We can only speculate about any structure, like these crests. They have these really cool crests on their head. We can only speculate as to what they could be. I mean, are they broadcasters? Do they speak like the little Martian dudes in Star Trek: The Menagerie? Do they flex them and communicate wildly? We don't know. Do they make colors? We don't know. There's no melanocytes saved. There's no coloration saved. We don't know. All we know is that they existed, and we don't even know how many of them there were. We don't have very many specimens of them, so we can't tell you how successful they were, or whether they hunted in packs or alone. But there are paleontologists, I guarantee you there are paleontologists pounding their fist on the table, arguing points about this. They have this crest, and this means that this was for this, and that means that they had to have done this, because all the other animals that have this done this. And somebody else is standing up saying, "You, sir, are a moron." And they fight. Paleontologists fight over stuff like this because they don't know, and they don't like not knowing. They want to know. They're in the business of trying to know, and they don't like not knowing. And I love the fact that we don't know, because it opens the door for speculation. The very first thing everybody says, they see that crest, all of the nerds all of the time. That structure serves no other purpose. It must be for sex. That structure can't have been good for anything else. It must be used for sex. It's got to be used for mating purposes, nerd. But it probably was. Probably like the cassowary. It's just a nice little display item on the top of his head to attract the ladies, to let the ladies know that that he's a Dilophosaur, and so that he can look at the ladies and see that they are Dilophosaurs as well. It probably was used for that. But the fact that males and females had it, and as far as they know, there's no distinction in the size. It's not sexually dimorphic. That's what that means. The difference between the sexes. As far as they know, it wasn't sexually dimorphic. So that tells me it probably was not just a sexual attraction thing. They did some x-rays of the skull and the crest, and they found some cavities in the crests that lead back to the sinuses. So it's more likely, from my perspective, it's more likely that these were used for sinus resonance, so that when they honked like a goose, they could attract mates or give warning calls, or we like to pretend dinosaurs roared because the movies from the 30s had them roaring, but they don't really have that kind of vocalization. So they don't really roar. They think these guys honk like geese. All right, let's see what we can do with that. That looks like a pretty good start. But yeah, there are people pounding tables. They hunted in packs. They hunted solo. You don't know. There's not very many specimens out there. They don't have very many of these things at all. I'm shocked we even know of its existence. I do love the fact that Safari made it bright green and yellow, because if that crest was for sexual display, you would want to have been able to see it brightly from across the way. It's not going to be a dull color. Their forearms, his forearm is kind of cocked short like a T-Rex in this toy, and this is a toy. You have to remember, this is a toy. We're not drawing a for real Dilophosaur, right? So don't put in details that you don't see. But his arms are kind of folded down like the pose we normally see T-Rex in, but they're actually very long and muscular arms. They're not T-Rex arms by any stretch of the imagination. He can reach his wallet to pay for the bill if you go to the restaurant with him. That's an old salesman joke. He's got T-Rex arms. He can't reach his wallet. Do 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 do. Yeah, the trick is to remember that it's a toy. We're not trying to. The only amount of realism we can even attempt is whatever realism they've added to the toy. So I think that's a pretty good start. It does. My mom says it looks like a crown and makes him look regal. He's the prince of the dinosaurs. He's one of the first. He's one of the first theropods. He's one of the oldest known, largest meat eaters of his day. He's about 20 feet long, or 30 bananas. Uh, weighs about 1,000 pounds, which is only about a third of a giraffe. So I mean, he's big, but he's not. He'd fit in your living room. You probably wouldn't want him on the second story though, because he'd probably fall through the floor. But he's fairly big, heavy, stocky, mean. He is a carnivore. So you wouldn't walk up to him and say, "Can I pet that dog?" He would very much consider you an appetizer. The chat is very quiet this morning. If you are here, we'd love to hear from you. Just give us a shout out so my mom doesn't feel lonely in the chat. Do. He had a notch in his jaw that they think would help him catch slippery things like fish. Other animals that have that notch in their jaw eat slippery things. So they've extrapolated that to him. Saying that he might have done the same. And again, I love that speculation. That's the whole to me, that's the whole fun part about dinosaurs is what was this for? I don't know, let's make something up. It was a radio antenna. Why does he have a crest on his head? It's a radio antenna to amplify their ESPN so they could communicate sports to each other. But, you know, they don't ask me those questions anymore. They don't ask me any less. They never really did ask me those questions. Hi, Nameless. Are you meant to be nameless, or did the computer just call you nameless because it didn't recognize your login information? Welcome to the show. Just a little bit. There's a little bit of the tail sticking down over here. I forgot to ink in a while ago. This is the grisaille part is my favorite part of drawing these things. So again, cassowaries have structures like these on the tops of their head. They're not. I don't think they're bony with cassowaries. I think they're more fleshy. Honestly, I should look that up. As much as I refer back to cassowaries, you'd think I would know more about that. But So it's not likely, not really likely that it's going to be a radio antenna, much as I want it to be. As cool as I think that would be, we could make a whole sci-fi movie based on all of the crazy theories about these things being true. Not specifically Dilophosaurus, but structures that the dinosaurs had. You know, one of the things is they found these things in the 40s. 1942 is when they first discovered these things. And that is the reason that's relevant is because they didn't make the cutoff for the movie genres. By the 50s, by the late 40s, early 50s, they were already making dinosaur movies. They were already making movies with stop motion animation. And so you already had dinosaurs in your movies. But they didn't know about Dilophosaurus yet. And so the Dilophosaurus didn't make it into the movies and therefore didn't make it into the public eye. Like, we all know about stegosaurs, and we all know about T-Rexes, and we all know about all of these other dinosaurs because we've seen them, because they sparked interest back in the 40s and 50s in the stop motion movies like Journey to the Center of the Earth. But Dilophosaurus hadn't been discovered in time to make that cut. So we don't really see Dilophosaurus in anything but Jurassic Park. And that's not accurate. The size isn't accurate. They made him the size of a puppy, or a turkey rather. The features, like the frill that comes out when he spits the poison on Dennis Nedry, that frill doesn't exist. There's no spitting of venom that we're aware of. I mean, we can't prove that they didn't spit venom, but that is all pure Michael Crichton making stuff up. And they can justify it in Jurassic Park by saying, well, there were gaps in the DNA, and so we used frog DNA to fill in the gaps, and one of the frogs that we use spits venom. You know, whatever. They can say that kind of stuff. They can get away with that because of the way the movie was set up. But you've got tens of millions of kids running around out there going, "Nuh-uh, I've read Jack Horner's book. I know better." It was me. I was one of the tens of millions of kids running around having read Jack Horner's book. Jack Horner was the paleontologist on staff for the movie Jurassic Park. My mom says it reminds her of a kangaroo. How so, Mother? The way he's standing with his tail in the air? She's talking about how the way his head's turned and how he looks like a kangaroo. The way he's holding his head, the way he's holding his legs, and he's how it looks like the stance looks like a kangaroo. Looks like a kung fu fighter to me. But of course, kangaroos look like kung fu fighters to me. Boxers, anyway. The Jack Horner was the paleontologist on staff for Jurassic Park, but Phil Tippett was the dinosaur wrangler. He got the title dinosaur wrangler in the credits of the movie, and I always love to reference him because the crowds on Reddit and Twitter blamed him for all of the deaths in the movie. So yeah, there's this whole crowd of people that are like, "Dang it, Phil! People died. You were in charge. You had one job, Phil." And he actually saw those responses on Twitter and Reddit, and he responded with, "Well, in my defense, there were a lot of dinosaurs." That that went on for years. That went back and forth for years, and he still goes to the comic conventions and gets approached by people that says, "How could you, Phil?" And and now his response is, "Raise your hand if you have a dinosaur named after you." Oh, it's just me. Yeah, shut up. I'm pretty sure that Jack Horner and Robert Bacher worked on all the rest of the movies. Robert Bacher's a prominent paleontologist of today also. They need Robert Bacher and Jack Horner because they disagree on so much. So they need somebody who can write the arguments between the paleontologists on screen. Robert Bacher, what I like about his books is that he looks for natural. He looks for more natural reasons why something happened. He doesn't blame everything on. He doesn't blame the death of all the dinosaurs on the asteroid. He says there were other things going on. The plates were coming together. There was migration. There was mass migration. The asteroid only explains one of the five major extinction events, so it's not a very good answer. And so he looks for more natural reasons why stuff happened. Jack Horner makes some good points too, but I can't tell you anything about Jack Horner's philosophy that stands out from standard paleontological fare from the 60s. So if you're a nerd like me, you've already read everything Jack Horner has to say. But they were both on staff for all the rest of the Jurassic Park movies. But Phil Tippett was the dinosaur wrangler. He's the one responsible for letting the dinosaurs loose. All right, how are we doing on time? Oh, it's 5:56. We got to get a move on. Today is the 4th of August already. My beautiful young bride is a school teacher, and she has to go back to her meetings today to prepare for the beginning of school next week. She is not happy about it. Let's see. Was there anything we wanted to talk about dinosaurs that we didn't talk about? No. I did mention that they weigh about a third of a giraffe. I did mention that they weigh about a third of a giraffe. So there is my rendition compared to the photograph. Let's see how I did compared to my perspective. I don't think my perspective is much different today. Let's see. Safely eject. Camera. I don't think my perspective is much different today. So there is my version of it from my perspective. So that's what we did today. Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Tuesday. We have tomorrow. Is it this one? The little girl came. Yeah, it's this one. The little girl came and pulled a whole bunch of toys for me for the week. She was teasing me about not having them for the week that she was gone, about me making comments about not having them for the week that she was gone. So she's got them stacked out over here. And tomorrow, Tuesday, we have a shipping ship. We have a ship full of shipping containers. What does it say? Cargo boat. Barco de cargo. So that's what we have for Tuesday, August 5th. So if you're watching this Tuesday, August 5th, and it is before 5:30 in the morning, then you're watching the trailer. And this is what we're about to start, so stick around, we'll get right on it. But for the rest of us, it is time for me to go to work. I appreciate you coming by. I look forward to this every day. This is one of my favorite parts of the day, when I get to jump up and run downstairs and I get to art with my besties. It holds me accountable to my art practice, and it gives me a chance to chat with you guys, and a reason to work the old gray matter. So I look forward to it every day. The lesson plan will be available later on today on my website, artisticbiker.com, which also the newsletter should be fixed. So if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll get a week's worth of those lesson plans sent to your email. Use them, or that way you can peruse through them and see which ones are useful to you. Anything else? I can't think of anything else I need to say. So be sure and tune in tomorrow. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And then we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing, because that way I know that the lag has caught up to the stream, and we know that we won't be